Welcome to Walk and Talk with Lamont Carey and my co-host, Gangster. So y'all, this is our 6th episode. I think we finally getting it into a groove. I want the show to be around a half an hour. We try to do it every morning at 8 o'clock. Only times that we're going to run into problems is when I have to be at the airport or I'm speaking at that hour. Michael, what's happening, champ? Where you been? Hey. So today, I wanted to focus on positioning yourself to make money off of your products and your services. So I remember when I started in poetry, and I think it was around the second time that I performed, and I started off improv, and I really didn't know what I was doing when I started in poetry, but around the second time I performed, somebody asked me, did I have a CD? And I was like, wow, I can make. Mike said life is well, man. I'm glad, man. You a good dude, man. You a good dude. We started way back. So somebody asked me, did I have a CD the first time? Around about the second time that I performed. And I was telling other artists, like, where can I record a CD so I can get this money? Because there's money in this, and I want to make money. And some of the responses, Grandin, good morning, welcome. And some of the responses were, man, you don't need no CD yet. You just got out here. You gotta build your name. You gotta pay dues. I'm like, pay dues? What in the world is pay dues? Mike said, happy for you. Thanks, champ. And they was telling me that I have to pay dues. So, Christopher, superstar actor. So, we talking about positioning yourself to make money off of your products and services. And I felt that it was in line with New Year's resolutions, because a lot of times people they want to make more money, they want to get rich, they want to accomplish their goals, and a lot of the goals surround financial stability. And so I was talking about when I first got into poetry, and I was told that I had to pay my dues before I could put out a CD where I can make money off of spoken word. And I'm like, pay my dues? What is that? How long am I supposed to do that? And so sometimes when we start in a business, or when we thinking of starting a business, people that may be our competition or see us as a threat, and we don't even realize what competition really is, or somebody that we confide in, we don't really know that they see themselves as competition to us. And so a lot of times they can be discouraging, and sometimes people can be discouraged and don't even realize they are being discouraging. And so they told me that I had to pay my dues. I ain't know what that was. I ain't understand that. All I really heard was, nah, you shouldn't be making money. So long story short, I went into the studio, I recorded my CD, and make it so bad I freestyled the whole CD, because I knew nothing about the recording process, and I knew nothing. I had nothing but 2 poems, so I freestyled my whole CD, which is entitled Imagine. And so now I'm running to poetry venues all around DC, maybe for like the next year or 6 months or what have you. And so then I get a phone call from Russell Simmons, that Poetry Jam, asking me to appear on the show. Wahoo say, what's up, homeboy? Good looking out. And so Trina, what's up, my love? So remember, people telling me that I have to pay dues before I can make money off of poetry. But then I get this. Trina said, "Good morning to you, super healer." So Russell Simmons and them call, and now I'm doing a taping for a hit show. So again, my point is, sometimes when we starting to take this journey on creating products and services that we want to make a living off of, or we just want to make an additional income, it's a new stream of income, and people can be discouraging. So I wanted to share with you some of the things I did in order to position myself to make money off of my products and services. And if you're new to me, I currently am a spoken word artist, motivational speaker, author of 6 books. I develop plays. I have a non-profit and a for-profit. But for you that's just starting out, or that person is trying to still figure out how to make money off of your products and your service. Good morning, Tanya. This is our 6th episode, Tanya. We on to something. So my first suggestion to you is, there's like 7 billion people in the world, and probably a minimum of 1 million of them will love the product or service that you want to offer. But now the challenge is, how do you tell them about your product, or how to access your product and how to access your service? So some of the things that I did, right? For a long time, my focus was just on making the money. And so I'm chasing the money, and I'm making a little money here, I'm making a little money there, but the turnover wasn't as consistent as I needed it to sustain me. Tanya said, "I hear that, we got to keep it up." Yes we do. And so some of the things that I did, I even wrote a book called Your Art is Your Empire, a guide for artists who want to turn their dreams into a business. Hey PJ, super actress. And it's called Your Art is Your Empire, a guide for artists who want to turn their dreams into a business. So, because once I started making money off of spoken word, I wanted other artists to make money. And I tried to offer them like consulting, to be a consultant for them, because I want to eat. And they really wasn't interested. PJ said, "Good morning, my brother. Godspeed." Thanks, love. And so what I ended up doing, because they wasn't hiring me as a consultant. One, I didn't realize that so many poets, I didn't realize I was outpricing myself. So that's one thing, outpricing yourself. But the other thing, so they wasn't hiring me as a consultant. And so what I did, I ended up putting it in a book. And what I realized when I was putting all this information in a book, it wasn't just for the spoken word artists. It was for artists. Hey, Randy. It was for artists or business owners in general. And so now today we talking about positioning yourself to make money. First thing I had to realize, what was my product and what was the service that I wanted to offer, and what was the basic need that I was trying to meet, and who needed this need, and how much were they willing to pay. And one of the mistakes that I made initially when I started writing books, I thought my market was men. I thought men were going to be the ones who buy my books. And what it turns out, that 98% of because my books was like prison books, right? Prison fiction novels. I got a series. So I thought men, that would be something that would appeal to men. But 98% of my customers are women. And so I had to change, not necessarily how I market to them, but how I get my books in front of them. So when we talk about positioning ourselves to make money off our products and services, first we have to realize or understand completely what our product is, what our service is, who is our intended audience, and what is the best way to reach them. Now, I know a lot of people spend a lot of money on advertisement that really has no return on their investment. So one of my suggestions is, regardless of the product or service that you are trying to sell to the market, I think one of your main focuses, or at least my main focus, I had to adjust, not to just the sale, but to help people. How can my product, how can my service, Jamin, what's happening? Good morning. How can my product or how can my service help the people that it's intended for? And so sometimes, some of the things that I did, one, I had to figure out, all right, how can I make how am I going to be legally doing this? Because I've been to prison. I want to be following the law, right? PJ said the business of entertainment is crucial. Show business equals 98% business, 2% show. Ain't that right? So I also want to hear about you all. How do you position yourself to make money off of your products and your services? And I know a lot of times people say you got to spend money on all this advertisement. But what about social media? You got all of these social media platforms. Hey, Randy, good morning to you, sir. We talking about positioning ourselves to make money off our products and services. So one of the things I did was to figure out what kind of business that I really wanted to operate, because I got to pay taxes on the money that I make. And the options that I found out about was limited liability, sole proprietorship, and nonprofits. Now there's way more business types that you could set up, but after looking at that, I realized that sole proprietorship meant, right, LLC is the right. So why did you say, PJ, why you say that LLC is the way to go? Now what I know is that the sole proprietorship did not protect any of my personal property. And so if I got sued, which many people do get sued, there was no protection. If they didn't like a product and they wanted to sue my company as a sole proprietor, they can come and take your house. They can come and take all of your personal possessions that really had nothing to do with your business. Hey, LaShawna, good morning, my love. Tanya said, good topic, I'm listening. And then I found out about nonprofits. Well, I actually heard about nonprofits when I was in prison, because people were saying that you get a nonprofit, you can get all this money. So I couldn't wait to come home to get a nonprofit. But you got to put some work in to get some money in a nonprofit. And nonprofits do not make people rich. Good morning, LaShawna. And so then I learned about limited liability corporations, and this is what I ended up choosing for my company, Lamont Carey Enterprises. And so how limited liability works is like a partnership, but you could be a single owner. A lot of cases you can even file taxes as one tax and not have to break it up, depending on how much money that you be making. And so, but the best thing and the reason that I went for the limited liability corporation was because if you sue my company, which I never intend to be sued, I try to offer the best customer service, good quality stuff, and do what I say. But still, people may come after you. And so the limited liability corporation or partnership, what it does, it protected me. If you sue my business, you can't go after my personal property, right? So for me, now you can decide which entity that you want to set up for yourself. Good morning, Bianca. You want to set up for yourself and you make that decision. I'm just telling you what I did. And I also eventually started a nonprofit called Contact Visits. But while I'm mentioning those, is because if you're in business and you're trying to make a living and you want to protect yourself, you want to protect your family, you want to protect your assets, and you want to be legal, right? So I'm not going to get into the details about every little thing about setting up a business, because we supposed to be talking about positioning yourself to make money. PJ said, you never know, brother. People out here are so grimy. They love to be in court protecting their bag. Oh yeah, you got to protect that bag. That's why I did limited liability. So I'm interested in you all. How do you feel that you could position yourself, or that you positioned yourself to make money off your products and your services? So now we talked about the business entity and setting it up. LaShawna said, I want to make money, teach. So one of the things that I learned doing business, and that I'm still learning, I'm constantly learning, constantly reading books on it. But some of the things I learned to position myself is, a lot of us like to work behind the scene, or we want to just sell our products, we want to sell our services, but we don't really want people to know who we are. And what I found is, you are the best salesperson or spokesman for your product or your service. And your product or your service, regardless of what you do, is going to be a part of your brand, unless you have somebody else out there that's driving it. But some of us small and new businesses don't have the capital or the money to pay somebody to go out there and represent our business. So you gonna have to do that. And and I know a lot of us have stage fright. You may have to take some classes on public speaking, or you could just get out there and fumble, right? Because to be honest with you, I never took any classes on public speaking, but I knew my product. And I just got out there and I talked to people about my products and my services. So some of the things that I needed to bring awareness to me at that time was, I built websites, because at that time websites created credibility. But now you don't actually have to have a website. A website is a great benefit, but you don't necessarily have to have it if you don't have the money to get a website created, or create one for yourself. So you can use social media. You can create a personal page and a business page where you just talk about talk about your products and services. And a social media site that I like is LinkedIn, because LinkedIn allow you to put in a specialty, and you can reach out to those people and go directly to the people that can say yes or say no, right? So some of the things I had to do in the past that I still use today, I had to create a bio, right? I had to create a description of what my products and services are or is. Reggie, what's happening, champ? Today we talking about positioning ourselves to make money off of our products and our services. So I created a bio that talked about me, how I got started, because people want to know your backstory. People want to see if they can identify with you, identify with what you've been through, like building your credibility. And so there are 3 styles or 3 kinds of bios that I use. I have the long bio that you may hear at like a conference or something. They read about who your kindergarten teacher was, all your accomplishments. So I have the long bio. Then there are 2 other kind of bios that I use. One is real quick, because I hate being there hearing people telling like this story about me and feel like I'm bragging. So I know a lot of you probably don't like that either. So there are several styles of bios that you could use. And the bio, not only that you give the people, but you could place it on your website, on your social media. Another thing is that people like to see you out and about and active. Like, one of the things that I hated was taking pictures. I would rather grab the camera and take the picture of you. But my business management had told me some years ago, if you always grabbing the camera and taking a picture, you never in the picture, so people really don't know. Your customers, your friends, your supporters don't never get to see you out. So why is all of this relevant? Because when we're talking about positioning ourselves to make money off of our products and services, people want to engage with people that they believe is making moves. And so if you can show people that you out, that you're about, and you're hanging around celebrities, and we know most of the pictures that we take celebrities, we just stop them. Can I get a picture with you, Slim? And if you look at the picture, you can tell who's really cool with who. So, all right, so look at the entity from which your product and your service is going to be sold under, right? Look at the bio, look at social media to do free advertisement and marketing on your behalf. But the main thing that I'm suggesting, what I learned from when I was doing poetry, it's not just about getting your product or your service in front of everybody. And I know we want to sell to everybody under the sun, and we can justify why everybody can use our products and our services. But I think if we narrow our focus, right, then we can see bigger rewards off of the products and services that we have. So, LaShawna, you have this your book out through the wire, right? And I'm sure that you're seeing bigger rewards as you engage people that's involved in the criminal justice reform. So big ups to you on that. And so when I'm talking about products and service, I'm talking about how do I target the market of people that I want to sell to. So I got a domestic violence poem called She Says She Loves Me. Now, a lot of people may have experienced domestic violence, right? And so I'm like, anybody can relate to domestic violence. It's all over the world. But in truth, I started marketing my stuff to domestic violence organizations. And LaShawna said, nope, I don't market the book because it costs too much to print and mail it. Okay, so I'm gonna touch on that, LaShawna. So with the domestic violence poem, I started, hey Cree, we ain't gonna have that today, Cree. I'm gonna get it right. I'm just gonna call you Cree like you told me. Good morning, love. So I started marketing the domestic violence poem to domestic violence functions, right? Stuff people that deal with domestic violence. And I got my homegirl, a fee, that's involved in domestic violence, helping save women. My homegirl, Boomy, that's teaching self-defense. So I started targeting my work to organizations that are the best benefit. I started trying to get in front of those organizations. Cree said, good morning, Lamont. Good morning to you. So it's about, when you're trying to make money off your products and services, I try to limit how much time I waste and how much money I spend trying to pull in everybody, and just narrow my focus to the people, or more so the organizations that can benefit from it the most. Like my book, I have a book called Dead Before 18, Saving Our Boys from the Streets. And now the end user is for boys, because it's a guide, right? It teaches them about how they know when they're being recruited to be a drug dealer. It talks about how to deal with your anger, when no means no, and all of those kind of things. And so, but I know that my end user is the kids, but the kids may not have the money, so I got to focus on the parents or organizations that deal with the kids. Does that make sense? That you got to know who your end user is, but you also got to know who the person is that can write the check. And so I don't market directly to the kids for the most part. I market to organizations that deal with the kids. So for me, it's better to sell 100 books than try to sell one book at a time. I hope that makes sense. And now, LaShawna, to your question that you don't market the book because it costs too much to print and mail. One of the things that I suggest that you can do is do a Google search, right, on printing books. And a lot of times you might find some companies that'll give you a bulk price, or the more books that you buy, the lesser the price is, and order it that way. Because every time I'm putting out a book, because I'm a self-publisher, I'm looking for the best deal that's in existence where I can publish my book. So one place you can look at, LaShawna, is Amazon. You can publish your book on Amazon. And now Amazon, I haven't really looked in it too deep, but I'm planning to look at it on my next book that I'm getting ready to release. But Amazon also is doing printing now. So you can look out and compare the prices to what it costs to print this way versus the way that you were doing it. And another thing that, in response to what you said, you include the cost of shipping into the price. So if you go to my website and you buy my book, you're going to pay a shipping and handling, right? And that's going to cover the cost of the shipping. So if I'm charging $15 for my book, I'm not taking out of the $15 to ship the book. Nobody does that, except for those companies, those big companies that's offering free shipping. So there are ways that I think you can market your book, that you can print your book, and that you can still make money off of your book and not taking away from your book. And also look at, when you're thinking about your products and services, how many ways can you use your products? I mean, how many ways can you get it in front of audience, and how many streams of income can come off of that product? So on average, if you take my book, so let's go with the business book, Your Art is Your Empire, the one that's a guide to help artists position themselves to make money off of their book. And it's really a business book that for anybody. But I look at all of my books like this. All right. LaShawna said, that's a bet. Thanks, bro. The best that I ever did it. The best that I ever did it. Haha. Appreciate that. So I got commissioned to write a book for a school system in upstate New York. And the book is called Reach Into My Darkness, I Hate This Place. And it's a book of poetry, right? And so they hired me to write the book. They also paid me to teach the teachers how to use the book in the classroom, because the teachers was trying to get the kids more engaged, get them writing about poetry, getting them expressing about their trauma or whatever they're going through, right? And they felt that my work speaks to the kids, and so they commissioned me. So they paid me to write the book, but I own the book, right? They paid me to write the book. They paid me to teach the teachers how to use the book in the classroom. They paid me to speak to the school body, right? And they allowed me to sell individual books to the faculty. And so I'm saying that to say, offer your one product and service. So say you selling hair, and selling hair is your main business, like my girl Miss B that has a hair salon, right? She not only service her customers in her shop, she also speaks about the health of hair, right? So she makes money off speaking about hairstyles. What do you call when they beat your face? She makes money off of teaching people about beauty. So she not only does hair, she is a speaker that talks about health, the health of hair, how to keep your hair healthy, how to color, how to put on eyeliner, how to do all of these amazing things. But her initial service was or is doing hair. And now she turned that service and expanded it into speaking. She do tutorials and all of this, right? And not only did she even went a step further. Now she has product, right? She got wigs that she make. She got, I think, makeup and lip liner, all of this stuff. So she took her initial service, which is doing hair, and figured out how to make income in so many different ways, but it's all associated with beauty. And so I want you to look at your products, your services. If you haven't been making money, but first you have to determine, are you the reason that you're not making money? Is it a lot of things that you won't do? Oh, I won't go out and speak. Oh, I don't want to go here because I don't want to have to be mixing and mingling with these people. Hey, Yolanda, good morning. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. So one of the reasons that you may not be making money off of your products and services, maybe because you ain't motivated, or maybe not just motivation, but you may be fearful. Hey, Andrew, what's up, champ? You fearful of engaging your customers. But again, I'm telling you, nobody knows your product or your services better than you know it. And so if you're not making money, Tanya, the candle business, right? What is it about your candles that make your candles different than everybody else's? Andrew said, talk, black man. Appreciate you, champ. So the difference of your candles may be that they're handmade, right? Maybe, hey, Yolanda, maybe they scented or smell like bubble bath. I don't know, but you know. Creed, what's up, Creed? That will be me using my anxiety against myself. But Creed, I have seen your ass get in front of an audience and perform, and I've seen on social media that you're becoming more and more popular. So that anxiety, you got to use that, right? Because a lot of times before I speak, I don't get nervous, but I hear that a lot of people get nervous, and I be telling them, just channel that energy, channel that anxiety, and make sure that you kill it, right? Because the people are there to see you. So first you have to look at, are you the reason that your products and your services are not selling? Because you won't do this, you won't do that. I used to sell books out the trunk of my car, and on average I used to sell 16 books a day out the trunk of my car. But even though that was good numbers, but after a while my management was like, look, man, we making all this and we charging these people all this money for speaking. We don't want them to see you in the parking lot in the trunk of a car. So I stepped away from that. But now my focus is, how do I sell books and program and licensing programs in bulk? So first, look at, are you holding you back? And if you're holding you back, how do you equip yourself to face your own fears? Because your fears may be blocking your blessings, your income, your stability, right? So Tanya said, I handmade all my candles and scent after different from others, and I have made the scent to last longer. So Tanya, that's what you talk about. You talk about the scents, in my opinion. I'm not no guru. I don't have no degree in this, so I'm just giving you my opinion, right? But I would say, I would talk about the scents. I would talk about how much longer the scent lasts versus other candles. I will give out deals. Miss B, not gonna give away her marketing tips because she ain't give me approval for that, but she has some amazing ways on how she get people in her door. Hey, Cree said, I understand. It's an internal thing. I am definitely the issue. I need to get my inventory back up and make moves. Hey, Keisha, good morning. So all of the challenges that the internal challenges that we face, that prevent us from positioning ourselves to make money off our art, we can get past that. And I think my book, Your Art is Your Empire, a guide for artists who want to turn their dreams into a business, can be beneficial, not just for performing artists, but it's a business book in general. It talks about one, the entity that you may be interested in setting up. It talks about marketing. It talks about social media. I try to cover as many things that I possibly can that I learned during this journey of becoming an entrepreneur. Because if you don't work, you don't eat. And a lot of times, a lot of years, I made a whole lot of mistakes. And I just tried to educate you all on the mistakes that I made so you won't make those same mistakes. Marie, hey, good morning, love. Tanya said, yes, you are so right. So first, look at what's going on with you internally. What's your fear? Stage fright, all of that. Then let's start working on it. Start practicing in the mirror, because again, nobody can sell your product quite like you can, because when people start answering questions, even your salespeople may not be able to have all of the answers to the question. So you're going to be one of your best marketing tools. You're going to be the face of your brand. 2, use social media to market your business. It's free. It's probably 10,000 of them. Try to figure out the ones with the most traffic, not bombard people with advertisement, because I know if I see a whole lot of advertisement from you, I eventually just tune you out. I don't unfriend you or nothing, but I just let's stop paying attention to what you're putting out there. But be strategic in who you market your products and services to. And believe me, if you create it, you're worthy of talking about it. And I know me, I used to feel uncomfortable at times back in the day that I didn't have the degrees to talk about entrepreneurship. I didn't have the degrees to talk about all kinds of stuff, but I was living it. And so because I was living it, I was one of the best people to talk about it. So I knew how to start a business with no money. I knew how to not make no money because I'm doing everything wrong, right? I knew how to make all the mistakes, but eventually I learned how to correct a lot of those mistakes, and I'm still correcting them. And one of the last things I want to tell you is don't overwhelm yourself. Business is a big business, but don't make it so complicated for yourself. And I know I talked about taking your product and seeing how many different ways that you can make money off of it, but I don't mean like right now. Try to figure out what you want to focus on your product and your service, where you're comfortable, and push that 110%. And then once you get that down pat, then add some of those other elements onto it. But if you want to be successful in anything in life, we always say you got to be determined, you got to be committed. And I listened to Kevin Hart's book, and he said it doesn't matter how determined you are, it doesn't matter how talented you are, if you're not likable, you ain't making too many sales. And that, ladies and gentlemen, busts my head. Because people do buy and support people that they like. And if you got a product and service out there, nobody get to engage you. They don't get to feel the human behind all this. And Tanya said, just listening to you for the time you've been on live for these days have really got me pumped up about doing so many more things dealing with my candles. Thanks, hon. Zoe, yes, taking my time. Now, taking your time don't mean sit your ass down and being still and waiting for the right opportunity. You have to create the opportunity. You have to, if you want to sell candles, you waiting for the right. I have never seen an opportunity for all the speakers in the world that want to speak. Today is the day come out. I have never seen that. But what I have seen is me reaching out to those organizations, me being visible in places where the subject matter that I talk about is being heard. Me meeting the people that put on these conferences, that put on these shows, people that have these grants and all of these things. It took me to do that work. Me and my team. Tanya said, I know, that's right. So yeah, Tanya, you can be patient, but don't be still. Get your ass moving. And another source of positioning yourself, there are so many organizations that are associations, organizations that have members that do everything that every last one of us do. I'm sure there's a hair association. I'm sure there's a poetry association. I'm sure there is a car dealer association. So why not figure out who these associations are, how big they are, and how you can become a part of them. I know there are tons of meetup groups and things of that nature where people work together on building each other up. So Miss B said, it's not business, it's personal. Your business is a byproduct of you. So make your potential customers like you, and they'll in turn like your business. And ladies and gentlemen, the products and services that you selling, and when you get that customer, do what you're supposed to do. Ship your product when you're supposed to ship it. Have the quality that your customers going to appreciate. And if you offering the services like doing work on houses or work on cars or whatever, something that you got to go to the person, be your ass on time, right? And it's always nice to give them a little something extra than what they believe that they was getting, because people always appreciate free. People love good customer services. People come back to companies and individuals that treat them right. The product that didn't fall apart as soon as they got it. So make sure your quality good. Make sure your delivery is on point. And make sure that you are representing yourself in the best light as possible. Don't be out here marketing and talking about this is what you get, and that ain't what they're not getting. The 5 things that you telling people in your marketing that they supposed to get. Be true to your word, because your word is you. Your product is a representation of you. Your product is a representation of your brand. Your product is a representation of your income. So I'm about to wrap up, because I don't want to be holding you up all day long. But I sure appreciate all the time that you have given me. And if you want to check out the book that I was telling you about that I wrote, it's called Your Art is Your Empire, a guide for artists who want to turn their dreams into a business. And again, it's not just about art, it's a business book. At that time, I just was focused on art, but it covers business and positioning yourself to make money off of your art. So I'll see you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, 8 a.m. Say bye to gangster. Gangster. Say bye to the people, gangster. All right, later, y'all. Bye.